Meine Stadt ist geiler als deine.
Please give a big applause. Here's for you, Drew!
Settle down, Dad is here. All right. And before I get started, I'm just curious, before I get started, with applause and whistles, how many German people are here? How many German people? Okay, and how many normal people? Yeah, all right. My name's Drew Portnoy. I'm American, but I've lived in Germany for over 20 years. And the problem is, I've lived in Berlin for over 20 years. The problem is, I've lived here so long, I'm starting to become a middle-aged German man. Or as a middle-aged German man would say that, a best-aged German man. It's bullshit. 30 was a lot better. But no, seriously, like every day I talk to strangers on the side of the road. Every day I'm like, hey, do you see that? Hey, do you see him? I guess he thinks the traffic laws don't apply to him, huh? That's a no parking zone, chief. It just like comes out of me, man. It just comes out. And then I've started to go for a walk every day. Like 3 years ago, my doctor said, hey, Drew, you know, you're not young, you're not really, you're a bit overweight. Maybe you should do a little activity. Maybe like go for a walk every day. And I was like, go for a walk? What do you know? You're just a doctor. I'm not going for a walk. But then a couple months ago, I saw on TikTok that a daily walk is good for my mental health. So since then, I go for a walk every day. At 53, I'm taking tips from 14-year-olds on TikTok. It's weird, but I don't know if you know this, like black people in Germany, I think it's actually Europe-wide, black people, when they see each other on the street, they greet each other regardless of whether they know each other or not. It's a little weird. If you go for a walk with your black friend, suddenly you think you have 1,000 new friends. It's weird. But on my TikTok walks, I realized that us overweight middle-aged men, we do that too. We do it too. I'll be out there walking and I'll be like, oh hey man, hey, right on. High blood pressure? Yeah, high blood pressure, hey. Cool. But then I'm also a middle-aged German man on these walks because I'm convinced that every car that passes me, I'm convinced they're going 10 to 15 kilometers an hour too fast. And then I do the same thing. I'm like, langsamer! Denk an die Kinder! Actually, all I do is bark at cars all day. Maybe I'm not becoming a middle-aged German man, I'm becoming a German shepherd. I don't. And then I do that thing where I have this guy's attention, I insult him. I'll just be like, are those tattoos supposed to look good? Because I love that German thing where you just insult strangers out of the blue. Just punch them in the face for no reason, you know? And I know, all right, I know you guys are mostly German and you're going, hey Drew, no man, we're just German, we're just being honest, we're open, we're direct. And the rest of the world says, no, you're being an asshole. It's very easy. Cool. But I usually do German comedy. Actually, that's how I make my living, is doing German comedy, so it's very nice to finally hear some people laugh. It's cool, yeah. But so I travel around a lot. I get to go around all over the place. Like recently I was in Vienna, I was in Austria, and yeah. It was all right. It was my first time there. It was great. It's weird because they speak German, you know, it's like different. It's different, but you understand, it's kind of the same thing, but different. And like the buildings look the same as different. They're like Altbau, like in Berlin, but different, a little bit different. The whole time I walked through the city, I was like, wow, this is kind of like sleeping with your cousin. Yeah? It's like different, but familiar, you know? It's weird, it's odd, I don't know. And then the other night I was in Potsdam. And the problem with Potsdam now is you can only think of one thing about Potsdam was this AfD, this right-wing party. They had this meeting there, and at this meeting they decided that they want to send all of us foreigners back. If they become in power, it's called remigration, they want to send us back. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not that bothered by it. I'm not that bothered by it. I feel like finally somebody is thinking more about my future than I am, you know? Like seriously, I was just moving, in 1998 I was just going to move to Germany for 2 years. And I just forgot to leave, you know? I'm not even sure I still want to be here. You know, I'm not sure I'm going to stay. But so I figure if the AfD comes into power, then hey, fine. My decision's made up for me. I have to leave, you know? Probably move to Vienna. And the weirdest thing that happened to me was in Frankfurt am Main. I got woken up by a SWAT team, by the Frankfurter SEK, at 5 in the morning. It's a great alarm clock. You wake up right away. Here's what happened. I had my gig, and then I went back to my hotel, and my hotel was a nice hotel, but it was near the train station in Frankfurt. And that neighborhood is like legendary in Germany. It's a shitty neighborhood. But I thought, like, man, I live in Berlin. It cannot be that bad, right? It cannot be that bad. I got there in the early afternoon. I was like, I want to go see this neighborhood. It cannot be that bad. So I walked through the neighborhood. Oh, yes, it can. Oh, yes, it can. Oh, my God. All right, junkies that are shooting something in their arm, sure. Smoking crack, we do that in the subway in Berlin, you know? But these guys, they had taken a stool, put it on the sidewalk, and they were dealing their drugs just right from the stool. They'd opened a Drogen kiosk, you know? Just on the sidewalk. I'd never seen that before. So I had my gig that night, and I was talking about the other German comedians in Frankfurt. I'm like, dude, they were dealing drugs from a stool on the sidewalk. I'm like, don't the police know? And they were like, no, that is the police. It's a little side hustle for them, you know? But anyways, so I go back to my hotel, and I fall asleep, and at 5 in the morning, I hear somebody banging on a door. It wasn't my door, it was the door next door. And they were like, please open the door, this is the Frankfurt police. And I thought, okay, be weird if it was the Stuttgart police, you know? But then I thought, like, I have no way of knowing if that is really them or not. Like, how do I know? Because honestly, if I was gonna rob somebody, that's exactly how I would do it, you know? Bang on somebody's door at 5 in the morning, they open the door, you take everything before they're even awake. Perfect. So I thought if they knock on my door, I'm gonna dial 110 and find out if that's really the police or not, right? It didn't happen, because in the next moment, I hear the door to my hotel room open. I was like, oh fuck, I grabbed the covers, I went around the corner, I had to go around the corner to see the door, and there were 2 cops standing there with helmets, masks, radio, machine guns, just like in Tatort. And then the one cop goes, why isn't your door locked? And so I was like, my door is locked. And then he goes, why isn't your door locked? And that kind of annoyed me. Because I'm like, dude, it's 5 in the morning, why are you screaming at me? So I said, my door is locked! And then I thought, Drew, why are you arguing with 2 men with machine guns? Germany has really changed you. Yeah, thanks. Go ahead. Yeah. That's crazy. Anyway, the other cop was a better cop. He was a better cop. So he said very politely, please drop the covers so we can see your hands. But I mean, it makes sense, sort of. And I was like, all right, it's nice to see a professional at work. And so I did. I dropped the covers. And I just slept in my underwear, just my boxer shorts that night. I'm in a hotel alone, so I just had my boxer shorts on. But I assure you, how you are now picturing me just in my boxer shorts, way better than I actually look in just my boxer shorts. But at that moment, I kind of regretted it that I was in Frankfurt and not Berlin. Because there's a half-naked man in his mid-50s standing in front of 2 objectively good-looking men in their mid-20s. And if we had been in Berlin, something would have gone down, you know? Like, that would have become a very good evening, you know? Spit roast is also a word. Anyway, so I'll move on. I've had enough of the cops. Well, you guys, you were the Brazilian. I have no Brazilian jokes. Okay. But I got older in Berlin. I did not mean to get older. I don't know what happened. It's weird. And since I got gray hair, it's weird. My life has changed. Like, in the subway in Berlin, they no longer ask me for my ticket. Seriously, they come in, they're like, Fahrscheine bitte. And then they see me, and you can see exactly what they're thinking. They're like, ugh, that guy not only has a ticket, he also has every insurance. Yeah, I'm closer to death. I want to be insured, you know? Like, the other day, I'm married to a German woman, I have to say. I can recommend it. And the other day she was at one of my gigs and I told this bit and she goes, Drew, they're not asking you for a ticket because they think you're old. They're not asking you for a ticket because they think you're homeless. Okay, thanks, honey, thanks. But the weirdest thing that has happened to me, and this has to be the gray hair because otherwise I can't explain it. The other day, I accidentally stole a microwave from Lidl. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know this was possible. Here's what happened. At home, we're like, let's buy a microwave. I was like, all right. I went shopping in Lidl, and as Lidl is, on that day, they had microwaves on sale. I was like, whoa, what a coincidence. How funny is I have to buy this microwave. for the Germans in the room, I know that goes against German principles. You don't buy household appliances before talking to Stiftung Warentest. But I was like, I have to do it. So I put it on the shopping cart. I went up front. I did not buy that much that day, like M&Ms and avocados, because up here I'm a hipster, but down here I'm still American. So I get up to the cash register, and the cashier points at the microwave and asks, "Is that yours?" I was like, yeah, this is mine. And then I left the store, looked at the receipt, and I was like, there's no way all of that just cost €5. Like, what? So I went back in, and she was furious with me. She was furious because I was like, hey, the microwave, you have to charge me for the microwave. And she went, you said it was yours! And I was like, yeah, mine to buy. Or is that totally normal in Germany that people go shopping with a packaged household appliance? Yes, this is my emotional support refrigerator. Thanks. Yeah. So then I get home, and my daughter was furious with me. She was furious. She was like, Dad, you could have a microwave for free. And I was like, yeah, but if I don't have a receipt, I don't have a warranty. Hey, y'all, thanks a lot. That was a lot of fun. Thanks.
Representing Berlin, Drew!